And action! Hi everybody, it's me, JBR, coming at you with another Theater Thursday. As you know, every Thursday I do a movie review. This time, because of, obviously the live-action, version is coming out later this week, I'm going to be doing, Beauty and the Beast, but I'm doing the 1991 version. If you haven't seen this movie, or if you don't know anything about it, consider this your spoiler alert. Take it in. There it is. Okay, so Beauty and the Beast from 1991 stars our beauty. Her name is Belle. And then Belle is lives in like a French town, and she really likes to read, and because of that she doesn't like really fit in with like everybody else. They think she's like, I guess, out of what a woman is supposed to be in this, like, French 1400 era. Like, back in this day, women were supposed to cook, clean, and take care of the kids. That's all they did. They didn't, like, really, like, think or have ideas. Like, they didn't, like, do the typical thing that, they didn't do what Belle does, which she likes to read, and she likes to be adventurous and want more than that lifestyle. So, like, everybody thinks that she's, like, weird, and they think, because her father's an inventor, they think that he's crazy. So, obviously, in a way, they also think that she's crazy. And to, like, also show her individuality, she wears blue, and nobody else in the town wears blue. So, also that's kind of also out of the female expectation. But, other than that, there is this one guy that is interested in her town, and obviously this is our, like, I guess, technical bad guy. His name is Gaston. Now, Gaston is that, like, very, like, burly man, and he, like, he thinks he's, like, the best thing ever, and, like, that all women should, like, fall at his feet and, like, kiss the ground he walks on type of thing. And, like, I'm not saying he's not, like, not a good guy to, if you like that type of thing. Like, if you got, like, a guy that's, like, big and, like, really likes to hunt and, like, that type of thing, that's fine for you. But Belle doesn't really like him in that way because, like, she thinks that he's, like, boorish and brainless, and, like, she doesn't like that he doesn't support that she likes to read and that she wants more than the typical, like, dainty little home wife lifestyle. So he, like, really, but I think it's the chase that, like, Gaston really likes to have. Like, some guys like to chase after women. Like, I think even though she keeps denying him, I think he's going to continue to try because he really does want to marry her despite, I guess, whatever. But, her father, right, so, when he's inventing and stuff, he, like, makes an invention that, like, chops wood, like, by itself, and he's entering this machine into, like, a science fair, and then so they would be famous, and then they would start a new life. And then so, when he goes to that convention, he goes the wrong way, and then so he ends up upon the castle of a big monster. Now, obviously, this is the Beast's castle. So obviously, the Beast takes Belle's father prisoner, and he holds him there. And then obviously, his horse goes back for Belle to show that he was taken. So Belle follows. Philippe takes Belle to the castle, and then so Belle, tries to bargain with the Beast to see if she can, like, get her father out of the prison, because he's sick, so obviously, and he's elderly, so it's kind of like he doesn't deserve to be in there. So she says, well, what if I take his place? So, she would replace the father as the prisoner. And then so she makes the deal with the Beast that, she would be the prisoner instead of her father, and her father would go free. And so the Beast let her father free, but then obviously Belle had to stay there. But the dad was sent back into town, and then he tried to get help from like the other villagers, but because they think he's crazy, they think that he finally kind of went off the deep end and like he really lost his noggin, saying about a giant beast and a castle and all this stuff, and that Belle was taken. But Gaston actually comes up with an idea to like if he can in a way trick Belle into marrying him, because he makes a deal with the asylum person saying, that because he was ranting out about the beast, that he finally went completely nuts, that they would put him in the asylum unless Belle agreed to marry him. But while this is all happening, Belle and the Beast are like somewhat trying to get along. Like obviously the Beast is stubborn and he's mean and he's like very hot tempered. Like he doesn't have patience for anything. And he doesn't like being denied of things. Like obviously he really tries to win over Belle by in a way trying to be nice, but doesn't like succeed. So one time he loses his temper because she goes in the Forbidden West Wing and she wasn't supposed to be there. So obviously he loses his temper and then she runs away. But then when she attempts to run away, she gets attacked by wolves. But then the Beast goes after her to protect her, and then he saves her from the wolves, but then he gets injured. So then they go back to the castle and she brings him back, and then she's trying to heal his injuries, and then like this is when it like really starts to become like baby steps towards like a friendship, like this is when he really starts to like try to control his temper and really tries to like see, like not try to be so negative and kind of mean. And so like he says, I want to do stuff for her, so he like starts being more nice, and he like starts taking interest in her interests. So like he shows her the library that he has, and obviously because she likes to read, and like he really tries to like warm her up, like, and in a way they do become friends and like they become closer. But when he was about to profess that he liked her, like his love for her, like after the Tale as Old as Time dance that everybody knows, she sees that he shows her the magic mirror that he uses to see the outside world. She wanted to see her father, so he asked to see her father, and then her father was actually going to through the woods to try to get Belle back, but obviously he's sick and obviously he couldn't make it, so Beast let her go to save her dad, even though this would mean that he wouldn't make the timeline of the rose. See, the Beast has a rose that was given to him when he was first turned into a beast, and he had to find somebody that would love him as a beast, before the last petal fell, before his 21st birthday. Now, he was running out of time at this point. The petals were starting to fall, and it was coming to the last petal. So even though he knew he was going to be stuck as a beast forever, possibly because she might not come back, he let her go anyway because he loved her. So she went to go get her father, and then they went back. But then Gaston came back with the asylum, and all the villagers with like pitchforks and torches because they think he's nuts. So she tries to protest that he's not crazy by showing him the Beast through the magic mirror, and then obviously Gaston sees that it's real, and obviously being the hunter that he is, he wants to kill it and wants to have his head on the wall. And then so they like all get they all get pitchforks and torches, and they all like go through the woods as like an army, or like a type of like whatever. And then so they head towards the castle, and then they lock Belle and her father up so they can't warn the Beast that they're coming. And then when they get there, when Gaston and the people get there, obviously the Beast is all upset that because Belle left and whatever, and he doesn't really care what happens now, but all the, like, his workers, like his friends, like, there's this one, her name is Mrs. Potts, she's a pot, she makes tea and stuff, and, like, all the other people, they fight against the people by beating them up, and it's really funny, and, but then Gaston finds the Beast, and he battles him, but then Beast didn't want to fight back, because he kind of saw no point, but then when he saw Belle got out and came to the castle to try to stop him, then he started fighting back, and then he started fighting for, against Gaston, and then he did win, because he had Gaston by the neck and he was holding him over an edge, but he's like, don't come back, and then he threw him down, and then when Beast went to go see Belle, Gaston stabbed him in the side. And then so obviously, but when he stabbed him in the side, he lost his footing and he fell. And obviously he fell to his death. But then Belle and Beast were like she's like, oh, you're going to be fine. You'll get all patched up and we're together now. It's all going to be okay. And then he's like, oh, at least I got to see you one last time. And then Beast did die. And then, she did say, don't leave me, I love you, right before the last petal fell, so, then beams of light and, like, magic start to happen, and then the Beast actually turns into a human. So this actually, because it's her, her proclaiming of love saved his life, and it actually, like, made him human again. So, like, at first, when he's like, oh, Belle, it's me, she's like, she didn't know. Obviously, she just thought he was a beast. She didn't think that there was any magic going on. So, but then she, like, looks at his eyes, and then they're the same shape and color, and she's like, oh, it is you. And then they kiss, and then that breaks all the spell of over the castle, and everybody goes back to normal and, like, turns back into humans. And, then, Beast... who was Beast, he doesn't technically have a name. It's hinted that it's Adam, but it's not necessarily confirmed, so let me know what you guys have heard in the comments, but technically he doesn't have a name. So the prince, I guess, and her, like, sharing their last dance, and, like, you hear the tale as old as time in the ending, and then you see, like, a stained glass window of the two of them, and it's a rose and all the people, and it's a really good movie. If I had to rate it 1 out of 5, I'll give it a 4, because there is no, like, name for the Beast. Why does Disney not give some of their earlier princes names? It's the same for Cinderella, it's the same for somewhat of Snow White. Why don't they give them names? It's kind of weird. Like, you can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, give people names. They deserve it. But other than that, it's a beautiful movie. It's something to watch, and it's a very good Disney movie. And I'm really excited to see the live action come up to screen later this week. I'm definitely going to go see it. And I think you guys should see it too. But that wraps up this video. If you have any suggestions, write down in the comments, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!